The gym can be a really intimidating place for a lot of people, but luckily our fitness and health journey can all take place right here at home. Now, this is not going to be a video of a kind of a follow along, like, all right, let's move type of deal. Because frankly, exercise like that, while it is good to get in movement, when it comes to getting stronger and getting our physique to change and getting our body to feel better, we need to take a more systematic approach in order to get there. And doing a bunch of this and a bunch of that just simply isn't going to get you there. You might not have known this, but it's actually really simple to start getting strong and to start looking and feeling better right at home with just 5 exercises. Hey, I'm Austin. You probably can't tell on camera, but I'm 6'8", and training tall is not about being tall. It's about helping you take your fitness and health above the average. I've been a personal trainer for over 10 years, and every few weeks I run transformation challenges that are designed around workouts to be done right here at home. And I truly do believe that these 5 exercises that I'm going to show you are really all you need to start seeing great results. I'm going to give you all the info you need about the form, the modifications to adjust to your fitness level, the reps, the sets, the rest breaks, all of it. So that way, if you're somebody who really doesn't know where to start when it comes to getting in shape at home and you don't want to go to the gym, this is your video and this is where you start. Now, just for the sake of this video specifically, we're going to exclude any warm-up or cool-down exercises. If you'd like me to make videos talking more in details about good strategies to do for your warm-ups and cool-downs, let me know down below. But we're just going to get right into the 5 exercises. Okay, for our first exercise, we have the tried and true push-up. Now, before you skip ahead and think, okay, we're just gonna do some push-ups, there's actually a lot that goes on with push-ups to help us really modify it to make it work for us. Because frankly, I don't know what happened in the fitness world, but at some point it was just kind of decided that push-ups are just this thing that everyone should be able to do. But in reality, a true good form, full range of motion push-up without your knees is really hard to do. But if you try push-ups without your knees and you're getting push-ups that look like this, I hate to break it to you, but you're never gonna get strong like that. Plus, if you're someone who has a history of shoulder problems, my shoulders, and we go right into these, you're only asking for another shoulder injury. The most practical and realistic place to start your push-up journey is on the edge of your couch. Because the more you elevate your hands, the easier the push-up becomes. So using your couch as a good elevation off the ground while being on your knees makes it very accessible and kind on your wrists too to start, that's Frodo by the way, start working on your push-ups. Another option too is to use stairs on a staircase if you have stairs in your place. But the idea here is with our knees on the ground, we want our knees not stacked with our hips, but knees behind the hips so we can get into a plank position. We're gonna squeeze our butt forward, we're gonna brace our abs tight, and we're gonna take our shoulders and pull them down. From here, the action is to aim not down, but down and forward. This creates the arcing motion that best works our chest while keeping our shoulders safe. So if we have our hands here just a little wider than shoulder width, aiming down and forward, touching our chest, kissing Frodo, and pushing back to the top. As far as the tempo goes, we want to think about going down to a 2 to 3 second count and pausing actively at the bottom in what we call the stretched position. So the idea here is to go down 1, 2, pause, and press up. On the press back up, contract as hard as you can. In the pause position, we're not resting. So we go down 1, 2, it's not a rest pause, it's an active, I'm flexing my muscles and then pushing out of it. This is gonna help you work on your mobility in your shoulders to increase your range of motion over time. And again, keep your shoulders injury-free. By the way too, if you have hardwood floors like myself, you might wanna get an exercise mat. These are super cheap and so great to have if you've got some bonier knees like myself. Once you can get sets of 6 reps at least with the elevated couch surface or a stair, you can progress to either lowering the surface down lower or going down to the ground if you don't have another option. Because the closer we get to ground level, the harder this is gonna get. So if you have an in between the couch and the ground, that's even better. But once you get to the ground, the mechanics stay the same. We bring our knees behind our hips, we squeeze our butt forward, we brace our abs tight, and we pull our shoulders down, and we aim not down, but down and forward. So wrists are under the shoulders, we aim down and forward, touch the chest, and back up. Did you see the active pause there? Active pause, and back to the top. Not just going down and bouncing out just to show off to our own ego how strong we are. Screw that, because we're trying to train not just for strength, but for joint health and longevity too. And that active pause down there at a full stretch, oh man, that's what makes push-ups really tough, but gets you better results. Keep in mind too that when your hands are on the ground, to not put all the weight into your wrist bone, but to spread your fingers out wide and give a light grip of the ground to distribute your weight across your fingers. Now, once you can get a good 6 to 10 quality reps with push-ups on your knees, you now progress not to push-ups without your knees entirely, but a sort of hybrid option here, where we take our knees off of the ground and lower down slowly without our knees. Slow, down and forward, pause, knees down, push to the top. So you use your knees down to help you get up through the hardest part while still building more strength through more of your body weight through controlled tension on the way down. And this is Sam. Sam, Frodo. Sam has the pink nose, Frodo has the black nose. And as you continue to get stronger with those regressions, eventually you'll be able to work your push-ups without your knees, down and forward, up and back, with that active pause, for all the at-home upper body push gains. So what we just worked there was what we call our pushing muscles. The muscles that help push things away on our upper body. So the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps, the back sides of the arms. But now it's time to work on our pulling muscles, which are primarily our back muscles and our biceps. Now granted, it is really hard to train the action of a pull just using our body weight and being at home. So instead of working on an action of the actual pull, we're gonna work on our back muscles through not necessarily pulling something, but by resisting against gravity, using our arms and lying on our stomach. For our second exercise in this circuit is the reverse snow angel. Once again, it's nice to have a pad here to lie down on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our arms out in front of us as straight as we can. We're gonna lift up through our chest off of the ground, our arms off of the ground, and while pressing our arms out to the sides and rotating our arms, we're gonna do a snow angel, bringing our arms together, out wide, back, and behind. Now notice, I'm keeping my arms as straight as I possibly can. I'm going slow and articulate, and at the back, I'm pausing for a second and then coming back out. Now that is going to light up the muscles of your back and right behind your shoulders, and it's really gonna help strengthen a lot more of these intricate back muscles that aren't worked through traditional pulling type exercises. It's really important that you do your best to truly lock out your joints. As we get older, we end up getting like these permanently bent arms. I don't know if you ever watched like a 90-year-old walk around, but their arms are like stuck in a bent position, and that's because we're not actively training full extension of our joints throughout our life, for most of us. So really make sure that you are straightening out the arms, rotating and pushing those straight arms away from you the whole time, lifting, pausing, and then returning slow. This is one of those slow tempo exercises where we want to be working rep ranges anywhere between 6 and up to 30 reps. Granted, 30 is a lot, and personally when I program this, I usually program no more than 20. And that's because this exercise just takes a while, but going slow is what makes it work. Now when it comes to reps for push-ups, generally you're always trying to get as many as you can within a working set. Now since push-ups have so many different levels of regression and progression that you can have, How many reps should you be aiming for? You want to be aiming for at least 6 reps a set if you can. And I would challenge you to go for 6 or more reps at your current push-up level. So for instance, if you tried level 4 push-ups and you can only get 2, well then don't do level 4 push-ups right now. Go down to level 3 and work on getting 6 or more. And once you're confidently getting at least 10 push-ups in your sets, you can probably progress to the next level. But if you're getting more than 20 reps of push-ups at the current push-up level, it's definitely time to try the next one. Because our strength is best built at lower reps if we can challenge ourselves enough with lower reps. And with an exercise like the push-up, because it has so much scalability, we can challenge ourselves more and more compared to a lot of other exercises. Okay, so now it's time to move on to the lower body. Now, with the lower body, we're keeping the same philosophy as the upper body, where we're looking for one push exercise and one pull exercise. And just for fun, we're gonna start with the pull exercise, and the pull muscle groups of our lower body are primarily our glutes and our hamstrings. One could argue that your glutes are also designed to help you push too, but just for the sake of this, we're gonna target our glutes and hamstrings and our upper back posture muscles with what I call the straight arm good morning. And because it's just 5 exercises in this routine, if we can get more bang for our buck by adding in some upper body with this exercise, well, it's only gonna make it even better. So for this exercise, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start by taking your arms straight overhead. Now, this is really important that we really practice not just holding our arms up, but actively trying to work on our mobility and flexibility by getting those elbows to straighten, to lock out, and then to bring them behind our head, thinking biceps to ears. And if you're really, really trying, you will feel a lot of activation in your upper body. And I'm telling you, if you're somebody who sits at a desk all day, you're 40 years old, you haven't been doing stuff, you're gonna get here and you're gonna think that you're doing it. But I want you to really think about it. Lock out, bring it back, really feel the tension there. Now with our feet, we're gonna angle our toes straight forward with our feet just about hip width apart. So we're not going wide, we're not going crazy narrow, we're just thinking hip width. So fairly narrow. Now from here, the idea here is to hinge. Now you can just say hinge, but what does that actually mean? To hinge, the idea here is to bend our knees slightly, get a little knee bend, and without leaning over, we're gonna think about taking our butt and sticking it back. We're thinking knees bent, butt back, back to the wall behind us. Butt back, butt back, butt back. And once you feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings, the backs of your legs, you're gonna squeeze your butt forward, all while trying to keep your arms locked out and biceps to ears. So knees bent, butt back, butt back. Feel the stretch and squeeze your butt forward. There is no leaning over. There is not an objective to reach our chest to the ground. We are only sticking our butt back to feel it all in our hamstrings. Now, of course, because your arms are straight up and overhead, you're gonna feel that all across the backs of your shoulders and your lower back as well. But that's why it's such a great exercise. Now, ideally when we do this, we wanna try to get our torso parallel to the ground. So we wanna try to get ourselves to here. But if you're not very flexible, you might find yourself barely getting over before you feel a lot of tightness in your hamstrings. My cue for you there is to focus on bending your knees more to allow you to get more range of motion. The more you bend your knees, the deeper you're gonna be able to get with less hamstring flexibility. And over time, as you get more flexible, or if you are more flexible, we're looking for just a little bit of a knee bend to challenge the flexibility even more. Now, just like with our other exercises, we're looking to actively pause in the stretch position. So we're thinking 2 to 3 seconds on the way down. Knees bent, butt back. 1, 2, 3. Active pause, 1, up. And that way we take momentum out of the equation. It's gonna make it a lot more challenging to do that, but because we're adding the pause, this is what helps to increase our flexibility while we get stronger. And because hamstrings are one of the tightest muscle groups on everybody, this is a great exercise to expand your rep range, all the way from reps 10 up to 30 reps if you can manage. I would challenge you for the first time you do this exercise to try 10 steady controlled reps And then every week that you repeat it, try to add 1 or 2 extra reps, all the way up to 30. This exercise is one of our toughest ones, but it's also one of the best ones, and it's really gonna help you develop strength, flexibility in the backs of your legs and your butt. The next exercise is to help us work on our leg pushing muscles, the quadriceps and the glutes too. Now, a lot of traditional home workout programs would just have you start doing squats. And while doing squats is movement, we can do these better. Because squats are great, but how we do them, especially at home without equipment, really does matter when it comes to getting stronger while keeping our joints safe and getting more flexible and mobile at the same time. By the way, do you like these toe socks? They're good for your feet. And I would highly recommend not wearing shoes inside the house while you're working out, because the more connected you can be with the ground, the better. Because your feet have muscles too, and those muscles work to help support your body to get your muscles working correctly, because your feet have muscles too, and we can train them by simply taking off our shoes. So this exercise is the deep sumo squat. The idea here is to take a traditional squat stance, take it wider. So our feet are gonna be wider than shoulder width, and we're gonna take our toes and turn them out slightly. This is great for a lot of reasons. It's gonna allow you to work on getting really low, and with this stance, it's going to not only work our quadriceps, but it's going to also work our inner thighs and work on building flexibility and mobility in that area. Now we're gonna treat this with the same type of tempo of going down 1, 2, 3, pausing for 1, and coming up and out of it. And the real results from this come from the intentional pause and then exploding out of the bottom. We do not want to get into this cardio boot camp style of just going up and down, because that's gonna shorten your range of motion, and we're gonna miss out on the mobility aspect that the squats can help us with. Also, for a lot of people that are looking to work out at home, you've probably got some knee problems, and pausing at the bottom takes out a lot of the harsh joint action that can happen if you were just bouncing straight up and down. Now, as we go down, the idea is to keep what we call a neutral spine. That means we're not trying to keep our back completely flat. Your spine has a natural curvature to it. But as we go down, we breathe in and we brace our midsection. So we suck in and hold in, and from here, try to keep this slight angle forward with your torso as you drop down, 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 pause, and come out of it. Notice how we're not allowing our body to shift our knees super far forward, and we're not collapsing our torso down either. We're trying to stay upright as we sink down, thinking butt down and knees bending, pushing the knees forward, dropping the butt down, pause it, and come out of it. And each rep, you're gonna find too that you can get like a millimeter lower. And that's what you wanna be fighting for, is fighting for millimeters when it comes to the mobility side of getting more flexible and getting stronger at the same time. Now, because we're not using any external resistance, we're just using our body weight and our pauses, you can work the reps pretty high with this exercise. Anywhere between 10 up to like 50 reps if you really wanted to. Generally though, I usually prescribe nothing higher than 30 reps for an exercise like this. And you will find if you take your time, do your pause, and work on really actively stretching out down there, you're gonna find that up to 30 reps is plenty. But I would start with 10. And a final reminder here with the pausing too, that the pause is active. So that means as we sink down and we pause, we're not getting loosey-goosey down here. We're actively keeping it tense, 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 tension, and then coming out of it. So it's active the whole time. And we're back on the ground for our final exercise. And this final exercise is what I like to call a core exercise or an abs exercise. An exercise that primarily targets our midsection, but you're gonna find here that with this exercise specifically, it's not just crunches working your abs. This is gonna be a full body feel exercise. And I call it stick to stone. What you're gonna do for this exercise is you're gonna lie down. Once again, a mat is helpful here. Do you see Sam down here being goofy and playing around? Look at this guy. He wants to do core work too, don't you, buddy? For stick to stone, you're gonna lie down and make sure you've got some room to straighten out your arms and your legs. This is one of the not so great things about being super tall, so I'm gonna scooch a little diagonal here. So I've got some room, but the idea here is we are going to try to stretch out of our body. Push your legs out as far in front of you as you can while lifting your feet off the ground, reaching your arms as far behind you as you can, almost like you're on a medieval stretcher. And from here, you're going to tuck in your knees and reach your hands around your feet like this. This is the stone position, and very slowly, legs out, arms out, into the stick position. Stick to stone, lifting our head, neck, and shoulders. Yes, you will feel tension in your neck. Your neck has muscles too, and it's good to work them. Out to stick, stretching, and slowly into stone. Trying to keep your feet lifted off the ground the whole time. Trying to keep your arms lifted off the ground the whole time. But as you need to, resting your feet down or your arms down before finishing off your reps. That is an exercise where anywhere between 6 and 20 reps will do the job, once again, because that is a very slow and controlled and methodical core exercise that you're gonna feel working your whole body, because not only is it working your abs, but it is, again, training our body to get our joints to extend, to just get our body into these positions that we just don't find ourselves in on a day-to-day basis. This is the type of stuff that leads us to feeling good, to finishing a workout and feeling like, wow, my body doesn't feel like it's just getting tight and tense and icky. It actually feels like I'm improving how my body feels while improving how it looks too. And that is why I've chosen these 5 exercises specifically, because it's not just about getting strong, it's about feeling good and making our body move better along the way. So we've got our 5 exercises, but how do we create a workout that's gonna be effective? How often should we do it? What do the rest breaks look like? Let's get into it. I would recommend working through these exercises circuit style, where you work through one set of each exercise in order before repeating for a certain number of sets. As far as ordering the exercises, I would start off with push-ups, because push-ups are always going to be the most challenging of the exercises, and it's always good to tackle our most challenging exercises first when we're the freshest. After push-ups, I would get up on your feet and do the deep sumo squats. This gets our body working from a plank position into a standing position and allows our upper body muscles to rest up while we work the legs. Then I'd get back on the floor for the reverse snow angel. Your upper body muscles will have gotten a nice rest break and you'll be ready to hit it. And after that, I'd get back up on your feet for the straight arm good mornings. And yeah, your posture, your upper back muscles are gonna be burning while you're doing those good mornings, but because you're gonna have a pre-fatigue in those posture muscles from the reverse snow angels, it's going to allow you to not compensate with your back muscles and really keep most of the action in your glutes and hamstrings. And to wrap things off, we'll get back on the ground and do stick to stone, getting kind of a combination of everything into this full body core exercise. Okay, well, what about rest breaks? How often should you be resting in between the exercises? I would honestly recommend that you just take as much or as little rest as you need, because each exercise is working different muscle groups. For some people, taking smaller rest breaks is gonna feel just fine. But if you're brand new, taking longer rest breaks will be needed. But it doesn't really matter as long as the work is getting done. There's definitely a time and place to get really hyper-focused in on specific rest breaks. But because this is a full body circuit and kind of the first thing we're getting into with home workouts, there really is no rush to get from one exercise to the other. The goal is not to keep our heart rate super high and burn a bunch of calories. The goal is for us to start getting stronger, to start developing body control and increasing our mobility. And that means taking as long of a rest break as you need to. But how many rounds of the circuit should you do? Honestly, if it's your first time through, just do 1 round. Yeah, seriously, just 1 round of a good set for each exercise, and that will already be infinitely more than what your body was doing before. And there's no need to do 3, 4, 5 rounds of this right now. If you're feeling up to the challenge to do an extra round, then 2 rounds is honestly the maximum that I would recommend for this first time through. How many days a week should you do this routine? I would do 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. A structure where you can get at least 1 day of rest in between the workouts. Because our strength, our mobility, our flexibility, that will come from our body's ability to recover on the days we're not working out. So you want to avoid doing something like this every single day. You think it's good to do it more, but it's actually not. But that's honestly good news because now you only have to commit a few minutes, a few times a week. So what, do we just do the same exact thing every single week? No, actually we want to be trying to progress ourselves week to week. But how do we do that? It's honestly a very simple phrase. Better than last time. That's all you need to keep in mind. You can make it better than last time by working on more range of motion for the exercises. You can make it better than last time by adding on 1 or 2 extra reps to each exercise. You can make it better than last time by adding an extra round of the exercises. And those are the 3 main strategies you want to use week to week to make it better. And if every week this workout improves in one of those modalities, your body has no choice but to adapt and change for the better. So what does this all boil down to? It boils down to your journey to getting stronger, more mobile, and changing your body composition is actually really simple. 5 exercises performed at your own pace with control, done a few times a week, with each week trying to be better than last time. When you can stack that up over a couple months, you'll be shocked at how much you improve and change. And after working with thousands of people over the last decade, what you're missing is just being consistent and doing it. It's easy to get caught up in thinking that it always has to change up and, we're not doing enough exercises, we need to do different things. But in reality, it's just a simple formula done with a goal to make it better than last week for an extended period of time. But this is literally as basic, as simple, and as straightforward as it gets for you to start getting strong right at home. You don't need to go to the gym. You don't need to go anywhere. You can do it right at home where you're comfortable. But if you want results, the work has to get done. There's no way around it. If you enjoy how I coach and teach things, you should check out my next transformation challenge taking place at the end of March. You can click the link down below to get notified, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell here on YouTube too, because I'll be talking about it as it gets closer. These transformation challenges are all about you doing workouts right at home with the instruction and guidance from me, with a chance for 2 winners at the end of the challenge to win $250 cash from me to you, where you can get in shape and get paid. There's a lot to learn in this fitness world, but I'm gonna continue to do my best to break it down, make it easy to understand, and help you get results. So I hope to see you in the next video.